How giant shipping blockage in the Suez Canal is disrupting global trades with Prince Dykes. Now, in this episode, we're going to go through what is the Suez Canal and money, and the three major companies impacted by the Suez Canal. Now, of course, there are going to be more companies, but we're going to talk about how this affects the supply chain and how supply chains results back to money. But ladies and gentlemen, very great episode. But before we get into it, go ahead and make sure hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit that like, comment, and share button. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you are now tuned into the Investor Show. As always, this is your gracious host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And as always, I don't have a lot of time, and you guys and girls don't have a lot of time, so we're going to jump straight into it. This is a very, very late night episode. So, it's about almost midnight here in Colorado. So if you are catching me live, the most random show podcast in the globe, where it can be morning time, midnight, or whatever. But if you are catching this live, go ahead and say hello to me. Drop a comment, tell me where you're from if you're catching this live. But in the meanwhile, we're going to get into it. First, we're going to talk about what is the Suez Canal. Then we're going to get and talk about the money that's tied into the Suez Canal. And we're going to look into the three companies that are three major companies that are impacted by the blockage in the Suez Canal. So right here on my screen here, what I have pulled up, it's kind of a little something that I could find, maybe a little possible map. And as you can see over here where my mouse is, this is the United States. Then as you go through the United States, you go through the Mediterranean Sea. And right here in the Mediterranean Sea, you can see right here where my mouse is moving, this is the Suez Canal. Now, in my lifetime, being a sailor that I am, I've been through the Suez Canal 4 times in my life. I've been, inbound and outbound, inbound twice, outbound twice. So it's been a total of 4 times I have personally been through the Suez Canal. So the Suez Canal, it is very important for merchants. This is how we get a lot of supplies. For prime example, if this was not open, if they cannot go through the Suez Canal, guess what? You would have to go all the way around Africa. So if you want to get things to Dubai, to the Middle East or whatever, when you come out and think about it, if you're coming out of London, do you want to go all the way around Africa to get to Dubai and Bahrain and a trade with companies over here in the Middle East? Or would you like to just cut through? Even if you're trying to go to China, do you want to go all the way around Africa, or do you want to try to go way around up into the North Pole or whatever? So most people, this cuts out a lot of time. As you can see my mouse, instead of going all the way around Africa, you can cut through the Mediterranean Sea, go through the Suez Canal, right? And then go through the Red Sea, the Suez Canal, then get over here to India. It opens you up to India. It opens you up to, you can get to China, all countries in the Middle East, Bahrain, Dubai, Iran is up in there, Iraq, whoever you want to trade with. So as you guys and girls already know, having this blocked is big money problems. This is big money problems. So next we're going to talk about the money that impacts blocking the Suez Canal. And then after we get through the money that blocks through the Suez Canal, we're going to talk about major companies that you use every day that impacts the Suez Canal. All right. What's going on? What's going on, Al? How you doing? He's up here. He said, yeah, just heard about this. Yeah. Actually, this happened on Tuesday, so I'm reporting this a little late. I didn't get a chance to make content on it, but this happened on Tuesday earlier this week. And now we're just now they just heard it got refloated, that it's going to be out now, that it's unblocked, I think is what they're kind of trying to say. But it's very important lesson as investors to understand business and how supply chains are very important. What's going on there, Richard? Richard, like he's sharing an article about the partial block refloated. Yes, that's exactly what I was seeing talking about as well. Nana Power, she said, I'm here from Nevada. Okay, we got Nevadas in the house. How you doing, Miss Nana? I think that's Nana Powers, right? Hopefully I'm saying that's right. There, Gil Chris, what's going on, my man? He says, what's good, Prince? I'm glad you brought this. My initial thought was oil. We're going to get into that too. Oil is impacted. So right here, Absolute Boss Collector Peace checking in from NYC. Okay. NYC is in the building. So we got New York City is in the house. We got New York City and Nevada, Colorado. Of course, Colorado's in here. And what's going on? He says 6,400 nautical miles in 14 hours. Yeah, he's looking at the thing that we're looking at. I can't say this neighbor. He say, is it unblocked? That's what I'm kind of hearing. Hearing that's unblocked or whatever. It's been reported that it's unfloated, but they're still working on it, but we're going to see. Max B, what's going on? Max B's in the building out there in Washington. That's my guy right there, holding me down. He said, I wonder how much money is sitting on the ships that were held up. Oh, billions. This is what makes the country so much money. Absolute Boss Club said, yes, sir. Now let's get into the money behind it, ladies and gentlemen. You guys and girls are thinking about merchants. Any military person that has traveled the world, which most military people do, but the most traveled branch is probably United States Navy. And anybody, like I told you in my life personally, I have been through the Suez Canal 4 times in my life. And that is big for the military. The military sends the Navy, the United States Navy, the United States Navy goes through there. The Chinese Navy goes through there. The Russian Navy goes through there. This just navies, the biggest navies in the world go through here and spend millions of dollars that they have to pay a tax just to get through here. So this is huge. You're talking about ships, you're talking about submarine, personnels, and you got to go all the way back into 2001 when we bombed, who was that? Afghanistan and Iraq after 9/11. Where did we shoot the missiles from? A lot of the missiles was shot from right here. This is open knowledge. A lot of the missiles was shot from right here in the Red Sea. A lot of the missiles was shot from here, and a lot of the missiles was shot from here. So you can see how big the Suez Canal is. So a lot of missiles, a lot of ships and submarines launched from here and launched straight into Afghanistan if they couldn't get around. So, ladies and gentlemen, and another one that is very big, because guess what? This right here, if you can't get through here, that's a big military piece. That's a huge military piece. And then that is bigger for who else? Merchants, supplies that's coming through. You're talking about billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars travel through that thing. I would estimate probably a month. I haven't gotten a chance to verify that. But now we're going to go into what are the 3 major companies. Now we talked about how the military pays millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars a year just to get through that Suez Canal. Now you're talking about merchants coming from if you're coming from, let's say if you're coming from China and you're trying to get to the United States, depending on what part of the United States, if you're trying to get to the East Coast and you're coming from China, most people love to go through the Suez Canal. If you're coming from London and you're trying to send supplies to Iran or Dubai or whatever, or to all the countries that are over there, you got to go through what? The Suez Canal. If you're an American, do you want to go way around Africa? That's worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. So now we're going to talk about the 3 major companies that are impacted by supplies. So let me pull this screen down. Let me share this screen here. 1 second. Y'all give me 1 second here so I can share the stream. Let me get this thing fixed too. All right. So let me pull this in. I think, okay. So here's one. Y'all ready? Here we go. Let me give y'all this drum roll as I pull these companies up. And I use a good bit of household names. Okay. Y'all see it? Right here. You got it. That is Nike. Nike. Number 1 we're going to go through with is Nike. So hopefully my sound there wasn't too corny, but I'm trying to put a little sound effects in. So where's my Nike tab? Where did I put my Nike tab at? Okay, here we go. So right here, they told you this came out on March 18th, 2021 out of Beaverton, Oregon, which is Nike's headquarters. Right here, they said in their quarterly report, North American reported revenue decline 10% due to supply chain challenges, including a global container shortage and U.S. port congestions impacting the flow of inventory and timing of warehouse shipment. Nike, number 1, North America, this is coming straight out of from their March 18th when they did their quarterly earnings coming out of Beaverton, Oregon. They're telling you right here. They're saying Nike is telling you North America reported a revenue decline of 10% due to supply chain challenges, including the global container shortage and the U.S. port congestion, impacting the flow of inventory and timing of the wholesale shipment. Right there, number one, Nike, ladies and gentlemen. So right there, you can see how supplies can relate back to Nike. Now, number two. Y'all give me a second here. Let me pull up number two. Let me stop this stream and let me bring up the next one. Number two. Where you at, number two? You're in here somewhere. Let's go ahead and include it in. All right, let's see who we got here. Which one did it pull up? Hold on. Now give me 1 second. Let me make sure it pulled up the right one. All right. Let me share this. All right. This is when you saw everybody talk about the chip maker. This is Intel. Intel, right? Intel, the largest, well, one of the largest chip makers in the world. So they're telling you right here, demand for Intel products is highly variable and can differ from expectations due to factors including changes in business and economical conditions, consumer confidence, income levels, and levels of customer capital spending, the introduction, availability, market acceptance of Intel products, products used with Intel products and competitor products, competitive and pricing pressures, including the actions by competitors, supply and constraints, and other disruption affecting customers. So right here, they tell you in the supply material resources. So right here, they're telling you defects in the disruption of supply materials or resources, supply constraints. Right here, supply constraints that is telling you about right there. So number two, you have Intel. Number one, we talked about Nike, how they pretty much said that, hey, due to supply chains being congested, it affects us getting our products out. And the same thing with the largest chip maker. This is why everybody's saying, oh, is this going to create a chip shortage? But it's too much money in the Suez Canal to let that big merchant that's stuck in the way not get out the way. I heard they got it refloated. So, you know, they're going to get that thing out the way. That thing costs a lot of money. I can't think of the country that owns it or if they split it or whatever. But every time you go through that port, it's worth billions. It's a man-made ditch. They pretty much dug a ditch. I think it took them late 1800s, if I'm not mistaken. And I think it took them like 10 years to get this whole ditch. So this ditch is worth crap tons of money. So when this ditch is worth crap tons of money, they're going to make it happen because that's a lot of the country's income. All right. So now let's go to number three. Then once I go to number three, I'm going to pull up y'all comment box and see what y'all say in the comments. Number three. Where are you at? Did I pull up number three? I know I got you in here somewhere. Is it trying to hide? Oh, y'all give me 1 second. Number three. Oh, there it is. It's trying to hide from me, but I'm gonna catch you. So number three, I try to use some household names. Let's give us our drum roll, please. Number three, Costco's. Costco's. Who knows the hot name of Costco's? First, we talked about Nike. Then we talked about Intel, the chip maker. And now we're looking at Costco's. Costco's, if you don't know what Costco's is, I don't know, maybe you live under a rock in America, but here in America, that's a wholesale store, something like Sam Walton, Walmart, or something like that, or whatever. So right here, you're seeing in their quarterly report, they're saying supply chain, they're looking at some of their risk factors. And one of their risk factors that they brought up, let me make sure I got that right. Y'all can look at this too. This came out on March 20th from Costco's wholesale. They said one of their risk factors is supply chains disruption. Supply chain disruption. This is what they're saying word for word out of their mouth, coming from the CEO. This right here is on page 2 of the March 4th Costco's Wholesale Corporation report, second quarter year to date operating results for fiscal 21, February sales results. So right here, they're saying one of their big things is supply chain disruption. So right now, when you can't get your supplies over there, in some country, because what happened with this blockage, let me pull this back up. What happened with this blockage, let me stop this. What a lot of companies started to do, since they couldn't get through the Suez Canal, a lot of countries started to look to go around Africa. So a lot of countries, when this big merchant vessel, for people who don't know, a merchant vessel got stuck sideways. I think it's a Taiwanian ship, if I'm not mistaken, got stuck sideways. So a lot of people was blocked up in the Mediterranean, couldn't get by. They didn't know how long it's going to take. You're talking about Tuesday, Thursday. That's a lot of fuel you're burning trying to get your products all the way to the Middle East. Or if you was trying to come the other way, that's a lot of money that you're wasting. Military, you're talking about military and civilian. That's a huge choke point. So a lot of countries were looking to go back out the Mediterranean Sea and go around Africa, which will cost how much money and how much of a delay in a supply chain, not being able to get through that Suez Canal. And then the countries, that's a lot of money that countries are making every time you pass through there. So that's a big deal. So let me see what y'all saying in the comment boxes before we get out of here. Richard Close says this event is very concerning. Think about how one terrorist or one wartime activity can shut down so many things. That's very true. That's why it is very it's a very hostile place when you go through there. Like I said, I've been through there 4 times and it's very hostile. And what people do, you have to be armed very well, because a lot of people like to come in and rob you. Also, countries are bickering over who gets that money that comes through or whatever. So it's a very hostile place. A lot of people trying to control it. It's a big deal, but you're right. It's a very big deal. That's why people fight over it, because it's what you call it. So I can't even say your name here. I'm not even going to try to attempt this name. He says, quick update, Ever Given has refloated. Yes. I was trying to do this. I was trying to do this earlier this week, but I didn't get to it. But yes, I have been seeing that it is refloated. So hopefully it is going back floating from it, so we can see. He said, absolutely said the juicy part. And you said Nike. Yes. Who's this? Loggy Gamer Corporation? Is it free now? I think it is. The last I saw that it was coming up free. So we got to see. Here we go. Intel say, okay, you say INTC. Yeah, you got it right. That was right. Intel was one of them. Max B said 3 different industries hurting from one problem. Oh man, there's way more industries than that. I'm pretty sure it's probably some lumber going through there, but those are 3 industries that I just hit just to let everybody know of it, to see how this could affect the global impact across the globe. All right. Ricky Stockett, what's going on? He said, good news, Prince. I wasn't tracking this. Yeah, the Suez Canal got blocked up on Tuesday. I've been a little late on this trying to get to it, but glad to get around it, even though it might be midnight over here or whatever, late night show, but we got it. Derek said, do you think this will provide dips to get some of the effect to come? Yes, he said at a good price. So pretty much he's saying, will this cause a dip in some companies to get an effective price? I think that the way futures are looking right now, we're going to have a little dip in the market. But since they got that clog refloated, it may slow down a little bit. But companies have already put out guidance about, hey, due to this dip, a lot of countries can't get through the Suez Canal. So, I may start doing more newsworthy topics too, since, to keep everybody up to breast on it. But I will wait to see what the market does. If the market does react to this, if I see Nike and Costco's, yes, that's definitely a good time to enter those companies, because guess what? This is too much, let me Google it right now. How much money is the Suez Canal worth? How much money? Let me just look at is the, like, countries go to war behind the Suez Canal. Much of money. And it's real short too. It's like a football field. Okay. So Egypt Suez Canal reports record high of 5.58 billion annual. So Egypt is saying they get 5.5 billion. This is coming from Reuters, which is pretty good. So it costs like 5.5 billion. What is the cost of using canal? Receipts of 5.5 billion with the average. Okay, it costs $250,000 for a ship to go through the Suez Canal. $250,000. So they're making about 5, this is billions of dollars a month to let people use that port. So Egypt was going to get that ship up to get that canal cleared very fast. They probably might come through with a fine, and that's very huge. But you got to look at it. That supply chain can slow down companies, which can slow down their quarterly reports, which can slow down money. And we already read the financial reports where Nike, Costco's, and Intel said that all those things can happen. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be my time today. Hopefully y'all got that. Thank y'all for tuning in to a late night show in the middle of the night. Me putting this out, but sorry that I got a little late on this, but I definitely, better late than never. All right. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. Until the next video, podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy you see me doing around the globe. Peace, be safe. I'm out. Thanks.